Okay, so you're going to get into some Illustrator stuff. Where's my microphone? Here it is. You're going to get into some Illustrator stuff. So I'm going to show you some Illustrator stuff. So you should bring up your Illustrator program. Okay. And here it is, Adobe Illustrator. And so on this side, right here on the left side, you have a bunch of tools, okay, that you could use. Today I'll be showing you how to use the black arrow, which is the the selection tool. The white arrow is direct selection tool. The pen and the pencil tool. Okay, so I'm going to start with File, New, and you could title this anything. So I'm going to example. Okay. You don't have to do much else, okay? So the size is letter, orientation is going to be portrait, landscape, doesn't matter. You could select one of these two. I don't really care for practice. So if your advanced tab isn't open, you could open it to look at this stuff. It's really not necessary. I'm going to go with CMYK color mode for printing. RGB is for screen display, web stuff, that kind of thing. High PPI, so that's pixels per inch, right? 300 pixels per inch. And this is it's a good setting here. And then preview mode, default. I don't need to do anything else. Okay, and just hit OK. And this is what happens. So this rectangle here represents your paper. Anything outside of this paper will not be printed. Anything inside this paper will be printed. Okay, this is your design surface here. All right, so just gonna start with drawing just a couple of things. Like I'm gonna use the pen tool first to get something on the paper, okay? And so I'm gonna start by clicking, dragging, click, hold, and then dragging out from wherever you clicked. And you'll see these two bars come out. And what that indicates is your curve, your start of the curve. Right? So if I go this way, it'll curve this way. If I go this way, it'll curve that way. If I go down, right, left, right, doesn't matter. So my next point will be right here. And it curved off the top because that's when I clicked and dragged, I went to the top instead of the bottom, right? So which way did I go here? This way, down. So there it goes, okay? So whichever direction you're going, that's the direction the line's going to follow, okay? So if you're like, well, I want to come back this way, you're going to have a weird loop like that, loop-de-loop. That's fine too, okay, if that's your plan. All right, I'm going to connect these. If you see that little circle right next to the little pen tool, okay, that means it's going to connect. If you see a little plus like that, that means that you're adding nodes. Okay, you could add nodes for future, you know, if you want to plan something ahead of time. If you see that minus, means that it's going to subtract that node and it'll autofill whatever you have here. So I'm going to select, or I'm going to go ahead and connect these two. Okay, so here's my blob. All right. From this point, you can either add more nodes or subtract nodes. You know, it's up to you. So I'm going to go to the pencil tool. And I kind of want to fix some of these lines. Like I just want this to be like this, right? I want it to go from here and have a shallower depth. I don't want this weird blob coming out, not like that. So you start on a line somewhere, right? Over here, start a line, start drawing, and then end back on a different line, right? And it'll automatically fix that. And so I kind of want to make an eggplant here and then here, just like that, okay? So give it like an arm. Now it'll do this sometimes, right? Because I didn't start on a line, right? So it's best to zoom in. How you zoom in is hold Alt and scroll in, scroll up there, just like that. So now I could definitely start on a line here. So I'm going to make like a snowman looking guy here. So let's give him arms, and you could give him fingers, right? And these are terrible drawings, but it's okay. Right? There he is. He's got a hand, right? This is kind of looking like the guy from Ghostbusters, right? That's cool. All right, so you could adjust that, and if you're kind of done, you could start on a new shape, right? And it'll keep your line selected for you with the pencil tool, which is great because you're like, well, I kind of want to fix this line really quick, and that happens. So I'm going to go ahead and draw another blob here. So you notice I left a little tiny space here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. See that little space? I kind of did that intentionally. And you could see it here too. It's not as evident, but definitely on this side, right? So I'm going to use my selection tool, and I'm going to select it. Just going to select this line, and I'm going to right click and then go to this join, and it'll fill in that gap automatically, right? You have to select it though. You can't just right click because join will do nothing and it'll give you an error, right? So I'm going to do the same thing for here, join, and this got joined. Okay, so zoom back out, Alt, and scroll out. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw like a mouth or something, like a scary mouth. You can hear my kid in the background. He's really excited to play with cars. Okay, here's the little ghost mouth. So this shape right here, what's going on as a matter of fact, so you see the black outline, but what you don't see is the white. And he actually has a color white. And it's right here, it's the fill. Okay, he's filled with white. And his outline, the stroke, is black, right? So I'm going to change the fill color to green, like weird ghost green. And you can see what happens, right? So he's all filled in, but these guys right here, you see the eyes, they don't actually have a fill. They don't have anything filled in. So they're empty or null is what that is. Okay, so none. Along with the mouth too, right? So I actually don't want to fill on the ghost at all. I'm just going to click this little red line here, or click this, or press the slash on the keyboard, right? And so I got all these lines. Let's see if I could fill them all by selecting all of them and just, join them all. So when you do a join on all of them and you select them, you see how it kind of just joined every single selection, right? So you got to be careful about that. So select one at a time and join it. One at a time, join, join. Okay. Now they're all shapes that are infinite. Okay, they just keep going around in a circle, right? So the path is infinite. That is to say, and there is no break. Okay, and that's a good thing to have. I don't know, maybe it isn't, but I always like joining my lines. So here's what each of these tools, like the arrow tools, does. Okay, so the black tool, the black arrow here, you select something and you can resize it, right? Any way you want. You could resize it down, you could resize it up, or to the left, right, horizontal, vertical. You could do both, right? Any way you want here. You could also rotate it. Rotating is a little bit awkward. You have to kind of hover outside one of the nodes and then click on it and you could rotate. Now, the keyboard is pretty integral to everything that you do here with Illustrator. Okay, and it doesn't seem very obvious yet, but when you hold Shift and you resize, you notice how the shape stays the same no matter where my mouse is, right? The actual shape stays the same, but the size varies, right? So as soon as I release Shift, look what happens. Boom, it gets all fat and weird, right? So when you're resizing a face, you don't want to skew it anyway. So you hold Shift and it'll keep that aspect ratio, okay? It's a good thing. Same thing with rotate, right? Right now I got a free rotate. When you hit that Shift button, it'll only rotate 45 degrees at a time, okay? And that can be helpful too, especially if you need to only rotate something exactly 90 degrees, okay? So you'd rotate it twice holding the shift key. Let's see. So that's the black tool. It resizes after you select something. You resize it horizontally, vertically. You could rotate, okay? And you could resize holding shift accurately, okay, on the corner. Now we're going to move on to the white tool, which is the direct selection tool. All right, so if you notice, I got a little jaggy here. I don't really like that. Whoa, sorry. When you have something select, or sorry, when you hit Alt, when you press Alt, it also does these, highlights these little menu files. You see that up there? So when you zoom in, for some reason when you release, it's not smart enough to know that, oh, he's not actually selecting any of the files because he's not using the keyboard for that. Okay, so just after pressing Alt, just click somewhere blank or something. So anyways, on the white arrow, you could select this line. Right, here's my shape, and I'm like, man, I really just don't like how this is done. So what this can do is you can adjust the segmented line. So anything between the nodes, so this is a node, and then if you follow this line, there's another node. Anything between this line or these nodes, you could adjust, right? And you could, okay, well, I'm going to adjust this line too. Okay, so that's cool. Adjust that line. You could also adjust the little nodes. You can move them around. You could also adjust these little arms that come off. These are your angle arms, right? You could adjust every single one of those. If you want the other one to appear, just click on the node. You got both angle arms hanging out here, right? So there you go, right? You could adjust just about everything with the white arrow. It's pretty cool. Sometimes it's kind of hard to aim for these stupid little arms though sometimes, so just have patience and work slow on this. Okay, it is time consuming, but they do this for a reason. It's so you don't accidentally grab something and move it. Okay, they're made small for a reason. All right, so that's your white arrow. Now you can't resize anything, right? So let's say, well, I'm not going to get into the technical stuff yet. Okay, that's too much. So so you've learned about the black arrow, which resizes, rotates in any given direction, along with shift, maintaining aspect ratio. The direct selection tool, which is selecting your line. You could adjust your line, your angle arms, and your nodes, okay, in any possible way. And you could hold shift during that stuff, and it'll only lock into 45-degree angles outside of this. So imagine a circle outside of here, outside this original node, right? You can go all the way up to the left, 45 degrees, stuff like that. All right, sun just came in here for no reason. All right, so the pen tool, like I said, will draw you, if you click and drag and hold, click, hold, and drag, you'll see these little arms come out. Those are your angle arms, right? And you could make angles, or you can just click, click, click to make straight lines wherever you want, to make your shapes like that. Okay, so there's organic and inorganic shapes, and you can do that with the pen, right? Just by clicking and not click dragging, right? Cool, huh? And of course, then there's the pencil tool. Clicking doesn't do anything, right? Doesn't do much. So click, hold, and you can drag and draw anything you want, right? There you go. Easy enough. And remember, you could always rework a line if it's too messy or something, or you don't like it, just rework it. Okay, I think that about wraps it up for now. You could do a lot with just these 4 tools, and I'm gonna go and turn down the TV or whatever's going on. It's so loud out there. Okay, have fun. Watch this video again if you get lost or something. Just rewind it. Those are the 4 tools for now. I will go over some more later. You could also explore on your own and find different ways to draw as well. There's many paths to the same conclusion, all right? Or many paths to different conclusions, or same paths to different conclusions. Okay, anyways. I'm not going to get philosophical on you. Okay, see you later.